is us.
Yeah.
We're back.
Hi everybody, welcome to Aderans UK live on a Wednesday evening.
I know, can you believe it's Wednesday already?
I know these weeks fly by, but
They really are. They say every year gets slightly faster. I think it's only by like a millisecond, but I really feel it, you know?
They say as you get older,
the years are just passing
they do
by.
whiz by. I mean, what are we, mid-February?
It's crazy. I remember Christmas was like yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Really excited for it, and then here we are.
Yeah.
Easter soon, you know?
Oh, well, they're all the eggs are in the shops, aren't they?
I'm excited.
Yeah. My favourite chocolate ones around.
The mini eggs.
The mini eggs with the crunchy shells.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We went through quite a few of those, didn't we, during last year before these?
We ate a lot of chocolate last year.
We did,
fairness,
actually.
didn't we?
A little bit too much.
Yeah, we tried a lot of different types.
We've really curbed that habit this year, though, I've noticed.
We've got better, although actually I did go and pass the bar earlier. It's on my desk.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah, but you were being very good with your dinner this evening.
I was.
So
I'm still trying my best.
Yeah, and
I
thought I don't actually need the chocolate, so
No.
it can stay there.
Nobody needs the chocolate. It's fun, though.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, we did do rather a lot of that last year.
We did. But anyway, we're not here to talk about us and our eating habits,
And
are
chocolate and Easter. No,
No.
not today.
we? No.
All about new colours,
Yeah.
new styles,
Yeah.
and new trends.
Fashion.
Yeah, all the different fashion ones.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, Bradley's been busy looking into different things.
I have,
This
as
week,
always, finger on the pulse.
Yeah,
you know.
you like it on the internet, seeing what's going on, looking at all the
Definitely.
different fashion houses and everything else.
Yeah.
We've been looking at colour and trying to see what colours we've got similar or which are incredible, really, because we've got some colours that are really, really popular this year. And we're going to be looking at some of the new high fashion wigs as well.
We are a little bit later on.
A little bit later on in the programme. We've got two of them behind us, if you were
We have.
wondering who our friends were tonight behind us.
Yes.
So we've got two of the new styles behind us, and I actually love both of them.
Yeah, they're really lovely.
Yeah.
All of the styles in the new brochure have been incredibly popular so far. So popular, in fact, that two of them actually sold through quite quick. But they will be returning very soon. So if anybody wants to know more about those, check back at a later date. Also, if you would like to keep in touch with us about when they're back in stock, you can sign up to have updates on all the things that we're up to on our website.
Excellent.
Did you know that? If you
No.
scroll right to the bottom of the page,
Okay.
you can get
I should
regular
know this.
updates, you get offers, deals. There's some, real good incentives to sign up.
So actually get to the bottom of the page, really, is what Bradley's
Have a scroll
saying.
down on the website.
Yeah,
after
just
this
keep
tonight.
going down instead of actually just stopping halfway or
Yeah.
the top little bit
Yeah,
and finding what was interesting. Keep going down to the bottom.
that's exactly it. And we won't harass you. We will send you some nice coupon codes. So it's worth doing.
It's an advantage.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you'll get the news first. So
Yeah.
when the other two styles return back to stock,
You'll be the first to know.
you'll be in the know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And they are beautiful.
they are.
And it is
beautiful.
such a shame we're not allowed to talk about them tonight because we're waiting for our stocks to come back in.
Yeah,
But
we don't have them either.
as soon as we do actually have them, we will actually come on and let you have a look and a sneak preview of them because they are lovely.
They are.
But the two long ones that we've got, which are the Wren, which is this one,
Mhm.
and the Sage, which is this very pretty little one here, we'll look at a little bit closer.
We will. And do you know what's interesting is that these two are quite similar to a lot of the things we've seen coming through. And we're going to talk to you about tonight. There's a lot to do with shape, texture, the bangs. They're back again.
The bangs,
Or
yeah,
fringes,
the fringes.
for us in the UK.
Fringes with us, yeah. Bangs
Fringes
if
with
you're
us,
American.
bangs in the States.
Yeah.
But most importantly, colour.
Colours are really, and I think colour for every season is quite key, isn't it, Bradley?
It is.
I'm a great big fan of colour. I love colour as much as style and texture and everything else we look at. But I think colour has always been one of my favourite things to actually play around with. And every year there's a colour of the year,
There is.
which we always look into. And we're always, and I'm really happy to say, there's always quite on trend with it as well.
We are.
Because last year it was silver, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
all the greys were the real colour of the year last year. And moving on to colour of the year this year, we're still very much in tune with all the
Very
wigs,
much.
with all the actual colours that we actually want.
Yeah, and I think that the interesting thing with this, and I mean, we learned about this whole prospect of there being a colour of the year maybe in 2020, I think, didn't we? That was the first time we looked
Yes.
at it when we
Yeah.
started doing these webinars with you guys and girls and everything in between. But we established that there is a colour of the year every year.
Yep.
And it was something I fell upon by accident because we do a lot of design in the marketing department, a lot of graphic design, a lot to do with colour and understanding how certain things make you feel and why they're important. And there's a company that, if you work in design, or know anyone that works in design, or remotely arty, will know there's a company called Pantone, and they make a colour chart, which is every single colour you can imagine to work with. And you'll match it so you can ring someone and say, please can I have this in a Pantone, blah, 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 loads of numbers, and then they know exactly what you mean. It's like a global language. Anyway, that company every year look at millions of things going on in the world.
Yep.
Things people make, artists, expression, everything.
Lots of research.
Lots of research. And there is a colour that will stand out that they see the most from all the data. And this year's colour is purple.
Yep.
Which is interesting because she found out that the shade of purple that we've got this year, which is called Very Peri, not to be confused with Peri Peri chicken.
Which
I, of course, did because all I do is think about is food.
Yeah, earlier. And with the colour called Very Peri, it's got a really interesting kind of name to it and the actual different hues to it. So what it is, it's actually got those tones of lilac. So you've got those purple and you've got those warm red tones, but you've also got the undertone of blue as well. And that's where the peri comes into it. So it's the periwinkle plant.
Yeah.
And probably, maybe a lot of you don't know, but probably in most people's gardens, most people have got periwinkle growing.
Okay.
They're, I was going to say beautiful blue little plants, which they are. And they're very, very delicate little flowers. And this is very, very soft, almost bluebell kind of blue.
Right, that
really
makes sense.
So that's where it's coming from. But there's I'll read this to you because I want to get this right. And it's just telling you a bit about why Very Peri is the colour and what it actually means, really. And I think it makes quite a lot of sense with what we've actually come through in the last few months. And I will read it. It's Very Peri also has roots in wellness and the natural world. So we're looking at like the natural world with lilac and periwinkle plants, which we all know and love. But it's got that bestowing in common sense during a chaotic time. Oh. And I know when I look at I've got periwinkle growing in my garden, in the front garden. And when you do look at it, it is one of those really calming, relaxing colours. And also, coming up to spring, well, we're a long way off still, but when you get all the bluebells out, if you go for that walk through those fields of bluebells, and it's that beautiful hazy blue, isn't it? Yeah. That really soft lilac-y colour is exactly the same. So their description is just really just perfect for it.
It's a very spiritual colour. It's something I always associate with that kind of side of life, But also blue-based things. If I remember rightly, the human eye, the first colour we ever saw was blue. So it makes sense for us to kind of go back to our roots and.
And it is one of those colours in nature, because I think when you look at nature in colours, you kind of are thinking really, like logically, if you think you're looking at greens and all those kind of shades, but there is an awful lot of blue out there when you actually look at the different shades of blues that you actually get. And this is what we're going to be seeing an awful lot of. And I mean, we're really fortunate because all the purples and the lilac tones of wigs that we've actually had for the last couple of seasons and moving forward, they're still going to actually be really in the forefront as well for us. Yeah. Which is fantastic news.
And I think with that, the interesting side of this, and what we're going to delve into a lot tonight, is that when you look at fashion and the colours that are coming through, which are not strikingly obviously linked to this, not everybody's going to suddenly have purple hair. That's not what we're saying. No. You're not going to suddenly start seeing purple everywhere you go. You might see more purple this year than you have in the last few.
I think
but
you'll probably go out tomorrow and actually see a lot more of it than you actually did today.
it's going to be
But
like when
it's
you get a
we're actually
car
telling
and
you.
it's a certain colour and suddenly
Yeah.
everyone has a colour.
Everybody has that same colour
It
car.
may be a bit like that.
Yeah.
But generally, with what we're seeing come through on the catwalks and things for this season, so a lot of it we will have seen at the end of last year because it's done, ahead.
Yeah.
But they're very cool in tone. There's a purple hue
To it.
There's a blue hue. It's not that everybody had purple hair at Fashion Week.
No.
It's not as simple as that. And that's what makes this quite interesting.
It's the undertones of colours that you actually get with it, isn't it? Really?
So even your blondes that you might see coming through this year will be more of a purple-based blonde.
Yeah.
Again, they're not going to be pastel purple, but the tone that makes them cool is purple.
Yeah.
It's more purple in that mix.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have a little bit more mixed in with it. It's going to actually look a little bit of a cooler colour rather than a warmer colour when we're actually looking at blondes. And I think with a lot of the blondes as well, we're going to start seeing a lot more natural blonde coming through. So like base colours, like Bradley's base colour, you won't mind me saying, I know.
Go for it.
Quite a cool, quite a dark blonde. And we're going to see a lot more natural, darker base colours coming through as well. But to also lift that kind of colour, we're going to be seeing just a really subtle little baby lights around the face. So that helps to actually lift the face and actually give it interest as well. So with blondes, it's going to be very much more natural. It's going to be a lot cooler as well, rather than those really bright blondes that we have actually been used to in the past. And I think also with browns, we're going to be looking at a lot more of your real chocolatey colours. So we're getting into really richness, aren't we?
Yeah.
Those really nice chocolatey colours, the lovely warm caramels, and those cherry shades actually coming through it as well.
But again, if you
it's
think
quite cool colours.
They are still cool, because even though a red, you think red warm, a cherry's quite a cool red.
It's a cool red.
There's
it's
more
not a
blue
warm.
in that than there is yellow.
Yeah. So you're still getting those cooler undertones with it as well. So it's quite interesting. And I mean, we look at colour when we're designing wigs, months and months in advance when we're actually doing it to, bring out new colours and new styles. And it's always quite reassuring when we're actually quite on trend and we've got it right, isn't it?
Well, it's some huge relief. Give the people what they want, Jane.
I mean, we do a lot of work. There's a lot of research and a lot going through the internet and different sites and everything else as well. We've still got that statement grey, though.
We have.
A lot of people did kind of embrace the grey, didn't they? When they were going through lockdown, stop colouring their own hair. And people did embrace that. And we've still got a lot of those grey colours still going to be in the forefront as well.
I think it's interesting when you look at all of the elements that we've got of colour. A lot of it is still a knock-on effect from 2020.
It is.
Here we are 2 years on trying to move on, but it's
We're
always going to be there in the back of your mind. It has a knock-on effect. So we saw a lot of longer roots, didn't we, after people had not been able to colour their hair for so long in lockdown, and then that was blended into more of a long root, stretch root, balayage type thing. Then there was a lot of the bright colours where people just went a bit crazy at home and went for it. Why not?
Decided they didn't have to go into the office.
No.
It really didn't matter what colour they actually were.
I'll set my webcam to black and white for the business meetings. No one will know.
That's very true, actually.
Very true.
Yeah. So what I didn't think about.
Well, you missed an opportunity there. We could have done these in black and white, and you could have gone with blue hair.
I could have gone pink and blue and everything else. You could have done anything. Yeah, gone of those days.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, done it before. Not anymore. So we're going to see a lot of those colours. Also, we're going to be seeing a lot of some of the pastel colours, but they're going to be slightly more kind of washed out pastel colours.
Okay.
So it's like they're almost kind of fading out on the actual ends as well. So it's almost somebody's coloured their hair and it's just actually naturally fading away, which those are going to actually look quite interesting as well, because it's just going to give you that much soft kind of look.
So you've still got the light kind of softness.
You've got the light softness of
lilac tone.
Yeah, but it's going to actually, it's going to really just kind of fade out towards those ends. So it's going to be a very softer
So
kind of
again,
shade.
you still got the influence there of the level of depth
Yeah.
of, you know,
Yeah, you still want to have that depth to it. Yeah.
Very interesting because, you know, again, with Pantone, doing all their research, it could have been they found a very bold, vivid purple, which would have had maybe more of...
it would have had more red tones in it. If it was more
have.
vivid, it would have had more of those red undertones.
But it's still
to
almost a lilac,
Yeah.
almost a pastel, but not. So,
it's just a very, very soft blue.
Yeah.
Very soft, very delicate colour that we can actually see. We're still going to see roots as well, but it's going to be more of a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be more of a natural root. So I think when we've been putting like, you know, rooted colours in, we've been doing balayage, and you can see a distinct difference between the root and your middle length and end colour. This is going to be so people can still grow their colour out if they want to, looking quite natural. So it's going to be what they call a shadow root. So it just looks almost like you've got a shadow on your actual hair, and the colour is just gradually, again, just growing out into those middle length and ends. So just subtle, very natural looking. I think the biggest thing that come across to me, Bradley, and I know we were talking earlier as well, was shine, isn't it?
Huge thing.
Massive thing. I think everybody wants to kind of look as if they've just come out of that high-end salon. They've got that, you know, isn't she kind of hair kind of thing, with that lovely sheen and that lovely shine to it.
And what's interesting with that is what you were saying about the blondes earlier, because if you've got very light blonde hair, which we've seen a lot of in the past, it's not generally very reflective of light.
No, it's not. It can be quite dull and quite matte.
Yeah, because the darker your hair is, the more it reflects the light. So it's interesting that we've gone for the darker blondes now.
Yeah.
Whilst shine is coming through. Don't use this as an example. It's full of sea salt and all sorts, so it's not. There's no shine there. It's, you know,
it's been mattified.
Have a bit of grit. You know, that's got to happen. But it's definitely something that we're going to see. And polished kind of
that polished look, and there's going to be lots of products as well. And I think we'll come back in a few weeks' time, talk about products and demo a few products, so you know how you're going to be able to actually get that shine onto your wigs as well. Because that's the key thing. I mean, a lot of wigs, if you buy a brunette wig, a red wig, a lot of them have that lovely shine to it already, but it's something that you can actually enhance with it as well.
Definitely.
So we'll look at products at a later date, I think. It'd be a good one to actually look at, Bradley.
Well, it looks like we've got quite a lot of viewers on there tonight, which is great. Thanks,
excellent,
guys. Thanks for joining us.
It's always so nice to have the support, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
So we've got a lovely demo that you're going to do for us tonight.
I have.
Yeah. So we're taking this colour of the year to the extreme this time. We're going in with our closest match to the Very Perry, as you can see.
It's very, very close, isn't it?
It's Perry close, almost. So Jane's going to actually create something for us tonight, which we've seen as a huge trend coming through on the runways. It's starting to come through salons. It's very wearable. Really, really, I think it's a stunning hairstyle. I have to be honest.
I think it's one of the actual kind of key looks, but it's one of those looks that suits everybody.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what your face shape is, what kind of hairstyle you got.
Yeah.
If it's long, if it's short, if it's asymmetric, you can have a version of this kind of new fringe that everybody's talking about.
She gave it away. We were going to tell you it's a fringe.
Sorry.
It's a certain type of fringe, though.
I haven't given that away.
You haven't given that away.
No, I haven't given that away. The name they've actually given it is bottleneck. And you kind of think, why a bottleneck fringe?
Yeah, until you see it, and then the shape makes sense.
It actually makes complete sense, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
And it's where you've got the widest part at the jawline, and you're narrower at the actual forehead. And with the actual fringe, you can actually take the actual length of it, and the shortest piece must always be in the centre, leaving the longer length coming down towards chin level, so between cheek and chin, depending what suits the haircut best and what suits your actual face shape best. And it's really, I mean, for me, it was kind of almost going back to the 80s when I seen it, because
Yeah.
it just gives you that really kind of just a soft, kind of almost just a soft little flick going back, really.
Well, what's interesting is I remember the last time we looked at fashion I think it was towards the end of last year, and a huge look that came through was the shaggy cut, wasn't it?
It
Which
was
had that same kind of shape but a lot shorter.
a lot shorter.
This is longer, a little bit less curly.
Yeah, it's
you
less
know?
curly. It's kind of maybe slightly more structured in a way.
Yeah.
It's also going to be disconnected as well. So that fringe area is always going to be a slightly shorter length than the actual rest of the actual hair.
Mhm.
I think with a lot of the wigs, though, you are going to actually be able to achieve this look really quite easily. And I think it's also a good look that if you've got a fringe now, but you want to actually go to a slightly longer fringe to actually achieve this, then you can actually do
Yeah,
that as well,
definitely.
just by tweaking the wig that you're wearing. Because if you've already, for instance, got a fringe in this, all you would need to do is just bring a little bit of that longer hair over the top to actually create a slightly longer fringe to it.
Yeah.
So we're going to actually just cut this one slightly shorter to give you that key look that we're going for this year. And there's lots of different tips when you're cutting a fringe. If you're going to be cutting your own into a wig, we always recommend that you actually go to the person you bought it from, or pop into one of our salons and get your wig actually personalised, which is the best thing to do. But if you live in somewhere quite remote, you haven't got anybody to pop into, or you're quite good and you like playing around with your hair, I'll give you a little really good tip on how to actually create this quite easily yourself. So I'm just going to just take literally the front section of that fringe away, okay? And I'll do exactly the same on both sides. And what I want to do is find out what level I want my fringe to actually be at. So for when it's actually cut, I really want it to actually be sitting kind of dual level. So I'm just going to split that into two, and I'm just going to take that hair across to one side. So I'm stretching it all the way across, and then I favour using a razor. So just by taking it off with my razor, I'm just getting rid of that length. And you can see already it's just flicking back where we want to. So I've got the shortest point again in the centre, which is where we want it, and coming longer down to the actual ends. So again, and when we're razor cutting, it's actually giving the wig a nice soft end to it. So it's nothing too hard, nothing too blunt, because we don't want any blunt ends in the actual wig. And if there's any hairdressers watching this evening, again, if you're going to be razor cutting, make sure you've got a new razor every time, or a new blade every time you actually cut somebody's hair, because the fibre will blunt the hair really, really quickly.
I think the key with this look is to not have any kind of blunt.
It's no blunt ends.
You know,
it's just all very, very soft.
Yeah.
And as you can see, that's just given that little kick through there, and it's again disconnected through the rest of the actual cut. I'll just do exactly the same with this side. It's just, sorry,
that's fine.
Bradley, just
Wheel
get in your way.
away.
And just take it across this way. And again, just take my second section, bring it over. And you can go as short as you want in that middle section. If we wanted to take that a little bit shorter, again, we're going to be able to take that up. Again, it just gives you that really natural little flick of a fringe. A great thing as well, if you're going to go for a fringe like this and you like to wear your hair up, again, you can scoop that hair up and you've just got that softness coming all the way around the face that people love. I'm going to take you a little bit shorter, I think.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Shall we?
Let's do the full.
Get it.
Yeah.
We have to do it on yours.
I'm sure I'd look great with a bottleneck fringe. Slightly strange, but
Straight.
if you swapped my hair onto somebody else, maybe it would work.
And this is, I mean, you're going to see everywhere in the high street this kind of look.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of, I don't know if you remember the model Alexa Chung.
Yes.
She used to be one of the presenters on, I think, Channel 4 or something like that as well. She always had very different variations of a bottleneck fringe at different lengths.
I think it's something that's been there forever.
Mm.
It's just somebody had come out with a new name for something, and that's suddenly the whole trend because we've got this new name for something.
Yeah.
I think it's a very flattering fringe.
Definitely.
For people to actually have.
What sort of era does it kind of remind you of? For me, it's almost 70s.
70s, early 80s,
Yeah.
a bit far a full set, isn't it? That kind of, you know, flickiness to it, I think. Yeah. And I think, you know, most ladies, if they've had fringes, will actually remember this or remember actually having a fringe like it at some point.
Yeah. It's quite a nice segue into having a fringe if you don't want to go whole hog, isn't it, really, as well?
Yep, halfway house.
Halfway house.
Halfway house, really. But also, I think, you know, if you're growing a fringe out,
yes,
and you want to actually have some shape to it still,
instead
of just growing out and having it no shape at all. It's an easy way to actually grow your fringe out by having one like this.
Yeah.
It's just remembering those rules, keep that centre much shorter than you do through any of the ends.
You can really see the
shape, isn't
when it falls forward now already. Yeah.
Beautiful. And it's such an easy look to actually achieve. And this is on this is the Lilac Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
The colour, and this was the Divine Waves from the Muse collection.
Yeah.
So lovely wig.
It's heat styleable as well, isn't it?
It's heat styleable. So yeah, if you wanted to give that a little bit more of a flick, you could actually heat it up and heat style it to actually get the curl that you actually wanted, or to actually change the curl everywhere else. Again, it's all kind of about texture as well, Bradley. So it's getting that right texture for a particular look. If you are going to be heat styling any of your wigs, though, anybody who's listening, make sure your wig is a wig that can be heat styled.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, give us a call and we'll be able to actually tell you. And if it is able to be heat styled, always make sure you use a temperature gauge. Really, really important, because you really don't want to be exceeding 140 degrees.
Yeah.
Anything too hot, or if you're using talking about a brand, GHD straighteners, most ladies use them. Somebody's got them in their cupboards at home, but they are just too hot on any of the heat stylable wigs. So I would just be very mindful what you're actually going to be using.
Check the labels, check the instructions.
Yeah, if you're not sure, ring us.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to actually give you all the advice you need if you can actually heat style it or do anything to it.
One of the best things as well, Jane, isn't it, is if even after we've given you the advice, you're not sure if your straighteners are putting out the temperature they're saying they're putting out, or they're the right type, is to try a very small bit underneath the back of a wig.
Yeah.
Once you've put it, on the right gauge of temperature, you think, and you'll be able to see.
Yeah, just do a little section on the underneath. If you damage that, it's not going to be a huge worry.
No.
But if you actually done it straight at the front and you damaged it, then you are going to actually cause a little bit of upset.
Yeah.
Really. So just going to just texturize those ends slightly, Bradley. It just kind of finishes that look off. Just takes a little bit of that weight out. And yeah,
There you go.
easy. I'll just do the same with the other side.
So there we are. Do not watch any TikTok tutorials on how to cut a fringe because that will end very badly.
Easy.
Watch us or see your stylist.
Or just to see your stylist. Easy to do, just follow the rules. Keep it short in the centre, bringing it out closer.
What a difference that's made, Jane.
But actually, when you first do it, if you bring all that side across this way, then you're going to get the angle that you actually want and then follow it. And it changes that look completely. It just changes it up completely.
Absolutely beautiful.
And yeah, we'd all be quite proud to have hair like that.
Yeah.
Colour and everything, really.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's really, really nice. Really good. So yeah, easy to do. Again, heat styling, just be really, really mindful and really careful. I've just put my straighteners on. And if you are doing heat styling, a little tip, just give the fibre a quick little spritz of water. It just coats the actual hair, and then you can just put your straighteners through it without causing any damage. Okay. So there's no, if Bradley feels that now, he's going to be able to feel that there's no damage done to that fibre, soft, which is lovely. And then if you wanted to put that little bit of curl back into that again, we can do.
Again, though, this is a heat stylable wig, so do check that
you can actually do that.
Heat stylable.
Yeah, that's a really important thing to make sure you can. But I think really style-wise in that fringe, we're going to be seeing lots of that. And I think lots of our customers will actually be coming in wanting to actually have that look, isn't it?
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Okay, well, speaking of the moment styles, looks, and our customers, should we move on to our new high fashion collection?
High fashion, yes.
So we have our new brochure, which is out now. If you would like to request one, please do. Just drop us an email to the email which is just below here. There we are. Otherwise, you can actually download the brochure tonight to have a look on the brochure section of our website. So you go to www.trendco.co.uk and the brochure's there to look at in its entirety.
Yep.
And we have two styles that we're going to show you tonight because, as we said earlier, two of them sold through so quickly because they were so popular. We're just waiting to restock those. So if you'd like updates on that, sign up at the base of our website and we'll be in touch with you as soon as they're back. So Jane, these are the two styles we're looking at tonight.
New ones. So
who are they?
This is Sage.
Sage, lovely name.
And the other lady is called Ren. Both long, so we've both got long hair. We've got a good 16-inch hair length on this one and 14 inches on the actual Sage. The actual foundation the Sage is made in, and I'll just show you what the base is like because I know a lot of you want to know what the base feels like. And we've got a very, very nice base. We've got the lace front and the lace parting as well. So wherever it parts it, it's just going to look really, really natural. And it's going to sit really flat to the forehead as well, which is really quite important. So when it's actually on, I'll just pop this onto the head so we can see. Just bring that a little bit closer to the camera. You can see that lace front and the way the hair's actually been knotted, just to give that little bit of lift and kick away from the front, as you can see on these. The colour of this one is lovely. I mean, I think it's going to be one of my favourites.
We do say this every time.
We do say this every time. We get a lot of favourite colours.
We do.
This is one of our new colours, though. It's called a Milky Opal R. So we've got what we call that very, very natural root. So what we were talking about with our colours then, that you've actually just got a shadow root. And that's really what we've got there, is just a shadow of a root, which is lovely. It is a very kind of a mid-brown root colour to it, light to mid-brown. There's really no warmth to it either. It's quite a
there's
flat
not. There's not.
blonde to it, which is really nice because sometimes when you get your rooted colours, they can be a little bit warm and a little bit red. And then the hair actually just blends down, and we've got different shades. And again, you can probably see that on the camera, the different shades of the different beautiful milky creams and milky blondes going through it. And when you look at it, it does actually almost remind you of like those little, it's like milky sweets, isn't it?
Well, it is, and opals are actually...
And opals are milky.
They are milky in colour.
Yeah, and when you look at it, it's got that beautiful shine to it as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of got a really nice transition of colour, I think. And it's kind of quite translucent.
It is, and you know the again the tone of the blonde.
Yeah,
it's very
cool.
You've got more of the blue tone to that than you have a yellow.
Yeah, it's a very cool blonde, which again is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We're slightly darker, you can see through that underneath section, and then that really light milky shade coming through the actual top.
So
I think
it's very
it's lovely.
natural still. It looks
really,
like it's
really
been dyed,
natural,
doesn't it? You know.
Yeah. Style-wise, again, I think is really flattering. It's almost got that bottleneck fringe put into it already for you.
Yeah.
So you know it's there. It's a little bit shorter at that front section, and just skimming those cheekbones. So it's a really flattering style.
Very face framing, isn't it?
It's really lovely. And the one on the head behind, that's actually in the watermelon colour.
Oh, this is from last year.
From last year. Yeah. And again, I think it's really rather beautiful kind of pastel-y shade. And almost with the longer ones, it gives you that kind of more of that washed out pastel colour as well.
Which
so
is
you don't have that vibrant.
Yeah.
So they both work, I think, really, really well. I think this colour is going to be quite a popular one though.
Yeah.
For the summer months.
What other colours did we get in the new collection?
We've got 3 new colours in the collection.
So there's 3
this season. So we've got the Milky Opal, which let me just pop that one down. We've also got the Maple Frost.
Okay.
I don't have one of those kind of big time in real life, but with the Maple Frost, we've got a mid-brown root colour. And then we actually go down through to like light chocolates and really soft highlights. But we're looking at all those really lovely maple and toffee colours.
But again, quite cool, not really yellow.
No, it's again, you've got all those really cool tones to it, which is an absolutely beautiful colour.
That's going to be really nice.
I think it's going to be quite a popular one again. I quite like it, and it works really quite well if you want to be that brunette, but you still like to have those kind of warm, softer tones to it as well.
Yeah.
Then our third new colour was the shaded amber.
This is lovely.
And I like a red.
You love a red?
I love a red.
When did we swap your hair from being red? It was a few months back now, wasn't it? It must be nearly a year.
Yeah, when I was really copper, wasn't it?
Really coppery.
Yeah, people keep asking me to go copper again. Well, actually, the hairdressers where I go.
The hairdressers are.
They're like, when are you going to go copper again?
Well, for anyone that remembers and has been watching us that long, let us know in the comments if you think Jane should go copper again.
Yeah, tell me what I should do.
Maybe she needs to match the shaded amber.
Yeah, tell me if I should go copper or stay as I am.
Yes.
I am a bit halfway house at the moment, so any advice would be welcome, definitely. So this is the new shaded amber, which I love. You've got that really supple root area again, but you've got those lovely tones of paprika, copper blondes coming through it as well, and you're going to be seeing all those kind of cinnamon colours coming through it. So it's all those spicy colours that you actually think of.
Spicy.
You know, when you're out in the market, you see all the kind of baskets of all the different spices, and this, and I think it's actually quite a natural.
It is.
Red as well. It's not too vibrant because you do have, and you can probably see like the undertones of like those softer, blonder shades running through it, which is lovely.
So what style is this? It's quite choppy. It's got quite a lot of layers.
It's very layered. It's long, good 16, 18 inches in length. Really nice long layers to it. It's almost got that kind of beach wave still.
Yeah.
So it's very kind of tousled and very kind of natural looking. And I think where it's great because they're getting away with that really soft little fringe to it.
Yeah.
As well. So it gives it a real nice lot of interest. If you wanted to get rid of the fringe, you could easily just take it more to one side and actually get rid of it if you actually wanted to. So it's just that kind of tousled beach wave kind of look. Again, you can put lots more product into it to actually get it more tousled looking. Or again, just by using shine sprays just to give it that shine and that little bit of sleekness to it as well.
The fringe is quite interesting again, James. We haven't committed to a full fringe.
It's not
We've very
heavy.
much got a fringe we can part.
Yeah.
So it's not quite bottleneck, but it's got the same shape at the top.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could kind of get rid of the fringe almost, if you wanted to. If you wanted to go for more of a blunt little mini fringe, again, you've got those options. If you wanted to put more of a bottleneck in, again, you can just take those longer lengths and just actually cut it so you could, and just take that and hide it through the underneath. So I think it's quite a versatile wig, this one. It's got a lot of different shapes going on with it. Great, again, if you wanted to actually take that hair up, you're going to have enough length to actually play with, to take it up and do a lot of, dressing with it as well. Great, and same foundation as before, so we've got that lace parting, we've got that lace front, and that's why that fringe, if I turn her sideways, is sitting so beautifully and flat, because of that area at the front. So no, beautiful, nice little wig, lovely style. I think all of them actually are quite complement one another quite well.
They are, and I think it's good that we've actually had to show them in 2 rounds, because the other 2 are a lot shorter.
Completely different,
Completely different. I think with these 2, it's nice to compare them.
It is, and the colour of the wren behind Bradley, again, is in the mochaccino R, which is like one of our top-selling colours. We sell a lot of mochaccino R. It's a very, very natural colour. And it's lovely, because you've got these little pieces of blonde just running through it every now and again, and just that really kind of cheeky little short fringe to it. I think they're lovely.
They are. Well, thanks for showing us, Jane. I mean, we're running out of time, so I think we should probably.
As we always do.
I know. We just talk and talk and talk. So Helen asked, what style is the amber one, please? So I assume you mean the shaded amber one here.
Yeah, the shaded amber.
This is the wren.
That's wren.
So that's the wren from the new high fashion collection, which is available now. We're going to leave you guys tonight with a video of the new collection, so you can see all 4 styles in action, because they're really lovely, and
they're all lovely, and I'm sure you're all going to be like, I need to order that one.
About them.
Yeah, the other 2 short ones are called Tara and Carson.
Yeah,
the names of the other 2 ones, and we'll be back at some point to actually talk about those.
We will, and
what you can do with them, and styling options for them as well.
Exactly. So tonight we've talked all about colour.
Yep.
We hope you have an idea of why you're going to be seeing so much purple.
Yeah, have a look in your garden when you're going out and about now. Be quite funny.
It will.
Yeah.
But you'll also understand why the colour's coming through, and you're seeing certain tones and things like that. So just keep your eyes peeled and see what you see. But again, thank you for joining us. High Fashion collection is out now.
High Fashion, yep.
And we'll be back soon.
We'll be back in 2 weeks' time.
We will. See you later.
Take care, everybody.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good evening.
Never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. never stop dreaming.